Okay, next I have a department presentation. Ronald Plouffe, Department of Recreation.
Madam Chair, members of the Council, Mr. Clark, and residents of Southbridge. My name is Ron Plouffe. I'm the Director for the Recreation Department here in Southbridge. I apologize for one thing. For the last 2 months, I've been working with the people at Cable Access, hoping to do a video presentation tonight. And for technical reasons, we can't do that. So I guess you're stuck with me. I began this stint back in October and have been pretty busy. I was told that whenever you're in front of your boss, you always say that you're very busy. And I am. When I began, there were no tracking forms for any kind of financing or activities, so I developed new documents to handle that. I also did some work with the website for the Recreation Department. It was very lacked with information, and it needed updating real bad. So I worked on that, and also on the website I have an area where you can download field access applications and also a participation waiver for any activity that you may partake in the town. I work with a 5-member committee. Susie Gears is the chairperson, Joe Lasavio, Gloria Berthams, she's our secretary, Jackie, and Lefty Varon. And Lefty is the guy that schedules all the fields, so your applications would come to me and I would forward them to Lefty, and he would make sure that fields and areas are available before we would approve them. And also Mike Trombley is the business manager for the department. Getting old. We had a great motor coach trip to the candle shop in South Deerfield just before Christmas. It was December 8th, and it was a great opportunity to start the Christmas season. They greeted us at the bus, gave us little buttons that gave us a discount, and the place was packed. It was great, good for us. Then I've been working with Little League and youth soccer. They're ready for their spring programs. The fields are all locked in for them. They've forwarded their insurance policies. They're ready to go. In fact, the youth soccer group has been using the gym at the community center for some indoor practice to get ready. Summer programs. I'm hoping to start another summer playground program with Mr. Vesher. He's had a great program a few years back, and I hope to start that up again. It'll be a 6 weeks program, starting probably the first week of July and run towards the end of August. People can sign up for a 1 week, 2 week, or all 6, however they wish to do it. With vacations coming right after school, which gets out, I believe it's on the 25th of June, I figured that it would be too early to start. with the 4th of July weekend coming up, so I figured I would start the week after July 4th. Also, I'm hoping to start an after-school program in the fall. That's at the beginning of the process, so I don't have much to say on that yet. I have been in touch with one of the phys ed teachers who actually contacted me and suggested a program, and we're trying to work that together. Also, the summer concert series is in the planning staging right now. I've had many requests from bands that have performed previously. They're interested in coming back. It's going to all depend on how much money we raise in order to finalize that. But some bands have already been contacted. I've been working with Susie on the master plan for Southbridge. We're updating the Recreation Department information. I'm working on a program with the Board of Health. There's been a lot of press about concussions and head injuries. The Pop Warner group has already taken care of their folks. I've been working with Little League and soccer. Even though it's not a full contact sport, it can still happen. So I've forwarded to them information that was provided by the health department, and also included in that material, there's a checklist for the coaches so they can observe their players if they happen to have an accident out on the field. There's also another phase of that where all coaches will be able to go online and take a small course, 20 minutes to a half an hour for free, and get a certificate. At some point in the future, we're going to require that all coaches take that before they're allowed to be on the field. The adult basketball league that we're going to have at the community center is ready to go. Final sign-ups are March 16th, I believe it is, and the league will start on April 6th. It's going to be a 8-week program. It'll be, 10 weeks. It's going to be 8 weeks of regular play and then 2 weeks of playoffs. It'll be on Tuesday nights. And Jerry Deshane is the gentleman that's heading up that program. So if anybody needs any information, you can call me or you can contact Jerry. I've had an ad in or a news brief in on the sports page for 2.5 months now, and all of our information is on there. I'm looking for someone to head up a photography club for this summer. Though I wasn't here last summer, I heard that there was a great photography club, and unfortunately the lady that was heading that up has since moved and is unavailable. So I'm looking for somebody that knows a little bit about photography so we can get that program going. Next, I'll give you a little tour of the field and all the fields and what happens. We'll start with Morris Street. Morris Street has 2 softball fields. They have a basketball court, and they also have a playground. From there, we go to Henry Street, and I see that the Southbridge Softball Association is looking for players. They started this week. They'll be starting soon, and they run right through October. great organization. They take care of themselves, they pay for the lights, and they're 7 days a week down there. I used to play in that before the Stone Age, and the league is a great league, a lot of fun. If you have an opportunity and you just like to watch softball, there's stands so you can sit there and have a good time. Also at Henry Street, there are 2 Little League fields. We have a couple basketball courts and a playground. In the planning stage, there's a handball court. We have no date on when that could be installed, but it's in the planning stage. From there, we go to Capello Park. Capello Park has a basketball court and also a roller skate area. West Street's also a very large facility. We have 2 soccer fields. One can be used for field hockey, that's below the school. We have 4 tennis courts, and we're in the process of replacing those nets right now because they've been there since that place has been built, and the nets are pretty well shattered, so we're in the process of replacing them. Up above the school, there's a Little League field, and there's also another larger ball field where you can play a Babe Ruth ball and for that age. From there, we go to the res, and many of you older folks in town, I'm sure, remember what it was like during the wintertime at the res, with all the skating and then swimming in the summertime. Well, about 15 to 20 years ago, the res was at the point where they were going to demolish the building. So before that, they did that. The fire department did an exercise there, and a few of the firemen that were at that exercise, A.J. LaRochelle being the first, came up with the idea that by volunteering, they would be able to save that facility for us. And they do a great job, and I have nothing but praise for these guys. Most of them are from the fire department, and they do a great job. I was there today because they, with the Claire Burt's fund, they were able to replace a tractor that they used to use to clear the ice. And at the first weekend that we were able to skate this year, the 4-wheel drive unit broke and the thing was old and needed to be replaced. So they replaced the tractor, which will be in probably on Wednesday. Well, in order to get that tractor inside the building, they had to replace a garage door. I was there this morning, and AJ and his brother and another gentleman from the fire department were there, and they were working pretty hard trying to get that door back up so that it would be all closed up by tonight. So again, I have nothing but praise and thanks for those gentlemen. They spend an awful lot of time up there. They keep the place clean, they keep the water good, and they spend a lot of time there. They're very generous. There are 2 types of recreation. Most people, when they hear recreation, they think of sports and athletics. But there's also social recreation. People like to read, people like to go on a computer, people like to play cards, some people like dances. It's all good for the mind as well as your health. A healthy mind is a healthy body. I encourage anyone to go out there and do what you like to do. Don't be embarrassed. I bowl in the senior league on Wednesday morning. And believe me, there's nobody worse than me. And what's embarrassing for me is, after my second week, I was sitting down and a lady, 20 years older than me, came up to me and said, "Ron, what are you doing after bowling today?" And I looked at her kind of funny, and I said, "Well, I have a few things to do. Why?" "Well," she says, "I thought maybe if you stayed over, I could show you how to bowl." So don't be embarrassed. It's fun. Please get out. Have a good time. Lastly, my office is located at the Senior Center. It's at 153 Charlton Street. Charlton Street. I'm thinking of school. 153 Chestnut Street. My office hours, I'm part-time, so my office hours are 9 to 12, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Wednesday afternoon from 1 to 4. Now, I usually work more than 15 hours a week, so if there's something that needs to be tended to, please don't be bashful. I've got nothing else to do. So, come anytime. My phone number is 508-764-6459, and my email address is rplouffe, Plouffe, at southbridgemass.org. Now, that video, I'm told, will be shown on Channel 13 very soon. So if you have an opportunity, take a look at it, give me a call, and tell me if I look stupid, or if you enjoy it, or if it was helpful. Any questions?
Just one quick one. I think that the Recreation Department, generally speaking, is one that often gets overlooked. It's not something that people tend to put up as a priority, but what would you say is the greatest challenge the Rec Department's facing? What help do you need?
It's called dollars, money. We have no budget virtually, so we work with fees or donations, like any other town. You know, it's not anything that's different. But as far as challenges, that was probably number one. Number two is trying to find volunteers. I had many years of experience with Harley Davidson, and they used to have, or still do, have conferences 4 times a year where they fly you out and they party for the weekend after they do all the classes and seminars. And probably the most attended is volunteerism. How do you get volunteers and how do you keep them? So those are probably the two most important things, or most needed.
Thank you.
Okay?
Anybody else? Thank you very much, Mr. Plouffe.
Okay.
I'm glad we still have a rec department. I'm glad we brought it back. Thank
My
you.
pleasure.